Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Hockey Talk with TG Podcast. I'm Ty Glenn. Hope you guys are having a great Friday. Hopefully you had a great Merry Christmas. I'm currently recording this episode on Christmas Day at night, but this episode will be out to you guys on Friday, so technically it's a Friday for you guys and still Christmas Day for me because I'm recording this episode on Christmas Day. But nonetheless, hopefully you guys had a great Merry Christmas. Hopefully you had a great Happy Holidays. Unfortunately, no NHL games on Christmas, which I can see why. The NHL doesn't really do games on Christmas so that players can spend time with their family, friends, other relatives. And if I was an NHL player, I wouldn't want to be playing on Christmas Day either. So no NHL games on Christmas. So what I did was open up my Christmas presents. I watched a couple of NBA games, watched a couple of Christmas movies like Home Alone, Elf, Jingle All the Way, which has Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad in it. And yeah, that's basically what I did. But yeah, I had a fun Christmas nonetheless. If you guys are watching on YouTube, I do have on my Santa Claus hat for this episode of the Hockey Talk with TG Podcast because again, recording on Christmas Day, but for you guys, this will be Friday, December 26th, the day after Christmas. Got lots of NHL news to discuss in this one. Also, some World Juniors news to discuss in this one. So make sure that you stay tuned in to this episode to the end. And as always, do me a favor, hit that like, subscribe button. If you are watching the podcast on YouTube, if you are listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio, make sure to follow the Hockey Talk with TG Podcast on there. We are with you guys every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11:30 a.m. to noon Central Time, 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. each time. So make sure to hit that follow button, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell button so you can stay up to date on the latest NHL news of the Hockey Talk with TG Podcast and the latest hockey news in general that's going on. Now, I know for the past few Mondays and Wednesdays I haven't really put out an episode of Hockey Talk TG Podcast. I was, still enjoying the holidays. Still a holiday break for me, so I couldn't get out an episode of Hockey Talk TG Podcast then. Wednesday was Christmas Eve, which I said I wasn't going to do an episode of the Hockey Talk TG Podcast on Christmas Eve, so that's why there was no episode on Wednesday. But the other days, I was just enjoying the holidays and couldn't really put out an episode of my Hockey Talk TG Podcast. But nonetheless, we will talk to you guys some of the top NHL stories that went on since I last did an episode of the Hockey Talk TG Podcast. One of those stories being Sidney Crosby becoming the Penguins' all-time point leader scorer. So he passed Mario Lemieux to become the Penguins' all-time point leader in the Penguins' 4-3 shootout win over the Canadiens on December 21st, 2025. He had 2 points in the game to achieve the milestone. And he currently has 1,725 points in 1,388 games, 645 goals, 1,080 assists for 1,725 points in 1,388 games. He also notched his 1,080th assist, career assist, to pass Adam Oates for 8th most in NHL history in the Penguins' 6-3 loss over the Maple Leafs this past Tuesday, which was a color-on-color matchup in that one. Penguins with their gold jerseys and the Leafs with their home jerseys. I'm telling you guys, the NHL needs to do more of these matchups. Because if you thought the original 6 matchups were entertaining, wait till you see more NHL teams keep doing this. So I'm hoping the NHL does more color-on-color themed jersey matchups. It really looks sick, and it will be great marketing for the league. The fans will be entertained. It will be something special. But yeah, at age 38, Sidney Crosby continues to go strong. He continues to look like he's never missed a beat. Like, still the same Sidney Crosby that we're used to watching growing up as a kid. Other NHL news. Flyers and Sabres being absolute wagons this year. It is really impressive to see how these two teams are doing. Although I did predict it, I think I said this in one of my bold predictions before the season started. I predicted that the Flyers will make the playoffs this season. I think the Flyers have improved so much leading into this 2025-26 season with hiring head coach Rick Tocchet, acquiring Trevor Zegras from the Anaheim Ducks, and making other moves. So with those additions and stuff, I felt like maybe Philadelphia can be a playoff team in 2026. And it's looking like to be that way for the Philadelphia Flyers. They sit second place in the Metro Division with a 19-10-7 record with 45 points. Recently had a 3-1 win over my Chicago Blackhawks. If Connor Bedard and Frank Nazar were in that lineup, the result of that game probably would have been otherwise. I'm just saying. But I feel like that's the only reason why Philly won, because nobody on the Blackhawks that's playing right now can score that much than Connor Bedard and Frank Nazar. I mean, those two players are kind of are bread and butter for offense. They are the engine for our offense. This Buffalo Sabres trying to make it into the playoffs after missing out on the playoffs for so long. Right now they have won 7 in a row. Recently won 3-2 against the Ottawa Senators on Tuesday. So they're trying to etch their way back into playoff contention after missing out on the playoffs for like 14, 15 plus years now. So, and they won 7 in a row. So they are red hot, trying to get back into the playoffs with their young squad. Jack Hughes, he returned back from injury in the Devils' 3-1 loss to the Sabres on Sunday, December 21st. He had a goal in his first game back, 11th goal of the season for Jack Hughes. Of course, he missed the last 18 games with a finger injury. He has surgery for what was described as a quote-unquote non-hockey injury, and he was expected to miss 2 months, but he comes back. And he makes an impact right away, getting a goal in his first game back. And take a look at the NHL standings so far before the puck drops tomorrow with 13 games on the slate. First place, we got the Red Wings, 22-13-3 record. Second place, got the Montreal Canadiens sitting at 20-12-5. Third place, Tampa Bay Lightning with a 20-13-3 record. For the Metropolitan Division, we got the Carolina Hurricanes sitting at first place with a 22-11-3 record. They lost 2 in a row, though. The past 2-3 games, they have been blowing leads, which that is not Carolina Hurricanes hockey, so I don't know what's going on there. Second place, Philadelphia Flyers, as I just talked about, with a 19-10-7 record. 1-2 in a row, looking like an absolute wagon this year, absolute unit. No doubt in mind, Philly's going to make the playoffs. I said this before the season has started, based on the changes in improvements that they made before the season. I kind of knew in my head that the Flyers were going to be a playoff team. And third place, surprisingly, we got the New York Islanders with a 20-13-4 record. Eastern Conference wildcard spot, we got the Capitals holding that first place wildcard, and the back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers with that second place wildcard spot with a 20-14-2 record. In the hunt, we got the New York Rangers, Ottawa Senators, and the New Jersey Devils, and so many other teams just itching to get their way back into the Stanley Cup playoffs. For the Western Conference, we got the Colorado Avalanche, the best team in the league, with a in the Central Division, and also the best team in the league. They are 27-2-7 of the season. They won 6 in a row. Another red-hot team of late, coming off of a 1-0 shutout win over the Utah Mammoth on Tuesday. Second place, we got the Dallas Stars, which they have a 25-7-6 record. And in third place, we got the Minnesota Wild, Quinn Hughes on the team now. I'm going to start watching more Minnesota Wild games, especially since Quinn Hughes is on the team. They're sitting in third place with a 22-10-6 record. For the Pacific Division, we got the VGK, Vegas Golden Knights, with a 17-8-10 record. Second place, we got the Anaheim Ducks with a 21-14-2 record. And in third place, we got the Edmonton Oilers with a 19-13-6 record. All these teams are tied. All three of those teams, the Golden Knights, Ducks, and Oilers, are tied with 44 points. first place in the Pacific Division. But Vegas, well, on the website, they have Vegas first, then Anaheim second, and then Edmonton third, and so forth. Two teams in the Western Conference wildcard spot. We got the LA Kings holding that first place wildcard spot. And then second place, we got the Utah Mammoth holding that second wildcard spot. Both of them have 39 points in the wildcard spot. And then teams in the hunt, San Jose Sharks, Seattle Kraken, Nashville Predators, and the St. Louis Blues. Fortunately, my Chicago Blackhawks, nowhere to be found. I mean, they started off the season on a great start, and then injuries started to happen. They started to lose games, weren't scoring as much. Defense looked kind of weak. And now we're staying in last place in the league. So it's great. Tough time for Blackhawks fans like myself. But hoping for Connor Bedard to come back. I'm pretty sure that's what all Blackhawks fans wanted for Christmas, for Connor Bedard to come back. Top 10 teams in the NHL. Number 1, got the Colorado Avalanche. Number 2, Dallas Stars. Number 3, Minnesota Wild. Number 4, Carolina Hurricanes. Number 5, Detroit Red Wings. Number 6, Philadelphia Flyers. Number 7, Montreal Canadiens. Number 8, the Vegas Golden Knights. Number 9, the New York Islanders. And number 10, the Anaheim Ducks. So those are the top 10 teams in the NHL right now. Crazy to think about. But this season has been off to a surprising kind of start. So, yeah, that's what you're going to expect. But now it's time to preview the 2026 IIHF World Juniors. So the 2026 IIHF World Juniors starts Friday, December 26th. Like I said, for you guys today. For me, tomorrow, because I'm recording this on Christmas Day at night. This will be the 50th World Junior that's hosted. It is a premier U20, under 20 international hockey tournament. It's where the future NHL stars make a name for themselves and show what they're made of. Many of today's NHL superstars were on this stage, and fans got their money's worth. They were certainly entertained, and now they're doing good for their respective teams. The 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship takes place from December 26, 2025 to January 5th of 2026. And for those who don't know what IIHF stands for, it stands for International Ice Hockey Federation. And like I said, this will be the 50th World Junior Tournament that's been hosted. And this will be in no other place than the state of hockey, St. Paul, Minnesota. This is where the World Juniors will be hosted. It will be in Minnesota, the state of hockey, returning to the Twin Cities for the first time since 2018. These games will be played at Grand Casino Arena and 3M Arena at Marici. I hope I pronounced that right. Grand Casino Arena is home to the NHL's Minnesota Wild. I wish they would have kept Xcel Energy Center for the name. That name is a lot better than Grand Casino Arena, because when you think of casinos and stuff like that, you think of Las Vegas. And that name didn't really go well with Minnesota, because casinos usually in Las Vegas. Not in Minnesota. So that name kind of sounded strange and weird to me. I wish they would have kept Xcel Energy Center as the name instead of Grand Casino Arena. Because, again, you're not in Vegas. You're in Minnesota. 3M Arena at Marici is home to the NCAA's Minnesota Golden Gophers hockey team. So some of the World Juniors games will be played there. Taking a look at the format. Top 10 teams in the main top division are split into two groups of 5. So Group A will be Team USA, Team Sweden, Team Slovakia, Team Switzerland, and Team Germany. Group B will be Team Finland, Team Czechia, Team Canada, Team Latvia, and Team Denmark. After round-robin group play, the top 4 teams from each group advance to the quarterfinals, followed by semifinals, and, of course, the gold medal games. This will be televised on NHL Network in the USA and on TSN RDS in Canada. Teams and storylines to know for the United States. Obviously, they're looking forward to going back to back to back. But this time, they'll do it without head coach David Call, because unfortunately, he is not going to be returning to Team USA to coach them in the World Juniors. It will be another new coach, but still hoping for Team USA to pull off that three-peat. We'll just see what happens. They won the last two World Juniors in 2025 and 2024. For Team Canada, they entered this one with pressure. They're looking to redeem themselves after losing in back-to-back quarterfinals in 2024 and 2025. They really got a stacked squad. Canada's always going to have a stacked squad in the Olympics for hockey. They got Michael Misa on their team. They got 2026 projected first-round pick Gavin McKenna, Porter Martone, Jet Luchenko, Jack Ivankovich on their team. So they are really stacked for sure. They have strong depth and talent on the team. So expectations will be high, but the results will matter the most. For Sweden, they remain a perennial contender. For Finland, they will have many key players returning to them. And they will lean on defensive depth and goaltending. Peter Rippinen, I think he's coming back for Team Finland in the World Juniors. He was absolutely outstanding for them last year. So hoping to see some of that best performance from him this year in the World Juniors. And I forgot to mention for Sweden, they got Chicago Blackhawks 2025 third-round pick Anton Frundell on their teams. As a Blackhawks fan, I'm going to be watching some of Team Sweden's games to watch Anton Frundell. Hopefully he gets a couple of goals, a couple of points in the World Juniors, but still going to be rooting for Team USA to win the gold medal. But for Sweden, I'll just be rooting for Anton Frundell, Chicago Blackhawks, third-round pick in the 2025 NHL Draft. Other notable teams, Czechoslovakia, they look like they can be a solid, great team. They bring smart play and the underdog potential. Germany, Latvia, Denmark, Switzerland. It's going to be tough for them, but can't wait to see what they do. I think the United States played their first game against Germany, so that'll be an interesting matchup to see how everything goes. But it's most likely going to be Team USA winning. Don't want to jinx myself, though. Prospects to watch in this tournament for Team USA. James Higgins, drafted by the Boston Bruins. Adam Sandler announcing the pick for the Bruins to draft James Higgins in his Happy Gilmore persona. Because obviously the Bruins had the pick. Adam Sandler was there virtually wearing the Bruins jersey. And we all know that he wore that in this movie, Happy Gilmore, one of my favorite Adam Sandler movies. And James Higgins also mentioned that it was one of his favorite movies as well. So it's a classic Adam Sandler movie. You guys should watch it if you haven't watched it already. They made a second one. The second one came out in July of 2025. It's on Netflix. The first one came out in 1996. But I like the first one better. The second one is good too, but the first one is a classic for sure. But yeah, anyway, James Higgins, Cole Eiserman, New York Islanders draft pick, Riker Lee, I believe he's a draft pick for the Nashville Predators. Cole Husson, brother of Lane Husson, and Teddy Stiga, who had the gold medal goal last year in the World Juniors for Team USA. In this tournament, he's going to look to be the hero. Once again, Nashville Predators draft pick, by the way. For Canada, San Jose Sharks prospect Michael Misa, and 2026 projected first-round pick Gavin McKenna, Porter Martone, Brady Martin, another Predators draft pick, and Jet Luchenko, who was drafted by the Flyers along with Porter Martone. They're going to be some prospects to watch for Team Canada. For Sweden and Finland, for Sweden, Anton Frundell. A lot of Blackhawks fans like myself are going to be watching Anton Frundell. Ivar Stenberg and Victor Eklund. I think Victor Eklund is on the Sharks, drafted by the Sharks. For Finland, Peter Rimpinen, in my opinion, he was the star goaltender of the 2025 World Juniors. Put on an absolute show last year, hoping to bring some of that back for this year's tournament. And take a look at the World Junior games on the slate for Friday. And like I said, all these games will be on NHL Network in the U.S. and will be on TSN in Canada. But take a look at the World Junior games on the slate for today. There's going to be 4 World Junior games on the slate for today, starting with Team Sweden taking on Team Slovakia at 12 o'clock p.m. Central Time, followed by Team Denmark taking on Team Finland at 2:30 p.m. Central Time. And then there will be Team Germany versus Team United States at 5 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And then Team Canada versus Team Czechia at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. And like I said, all these games will be on NHL Network in the U.S. and will be on TSN in Canada. It should be a great World Juniors. It's like waking up on Christmas morning. That's what it feels like whenever the World Juniors come on, whenever the World Juniors starts. It feels like waking up on Christmas morning, getting to see the best prospects from all over the world in action on the stage. Doesn't get any better than that. It is something special that every hockey fan looks forward to every year. Tournament you don't want to miss. No NHL games for Friday, but luckily the World Juniors is giving us some hockey to watch on Friday. The NHL will return back to action on Saturday with 13 games on the slate, starting with the New York Rangers taking on New York Islanders at 5 o'clock p.m. Central Time, followed by the Boston Bruins taking on the Buffalo Sabres at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And then we got the Battle of Ontario. The Ottawa Senators taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. First hockey night in Canada game. And then we got the Battle of Florida between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And then we got a Metropolitan Division showdown between the Washington Capitals and the New Jersey Devils at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And then we got the Detroit Red Wings taking on the Carolina Hurricanes at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And then a Central Division showdown featuring the Minnesota Wild taking on the Winnipeg Jets at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Another hockey night in Canada game. And then we got another Central Division showdown between the Nashville Predators and the St. Louis Blues at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And then another Central Division showdown between the Chicago Blackhawks and the Dallas Stars at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Still no Connor Bedard. Still no Frank Nazar. It's going to be a lot of pain for Blackhawks fans until the new year. And then we got a Pacific Division showdown and a Battle of California showdown between the Anaheim Ducks and the LA Kings at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And then we got a Battle of Alberta showdown between the Edmonton Oilers and the Calgary Flames at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And then we got the San Jose Sharks taking on the Vancouver Canucks at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Macklin Celebrini returns to Vancouver. And in the last game on the slate, got the Colorado Avalanche taking on the VGK Vegas Golden Knights at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. So a lot of rivalry games, a lot of division showdowns happening on Saturday for the NHL, and then there's going to be 5 games on Sunday to watch. So lots of hockey coming this weekend, but I know a lot of people are going to be excited for the World Juniors. Like I said, it's like waking up on Christmas morning, something that every hockey fan looks forward to each year. I love watching the World Juniors. It is a great tournament featuring all these young players, 20 and under. U20 tournament, for those who didn't know that, it is a U20 tournament. Seeing all these young players on this stage, showing off their best skills, making a name for themselves, making themselves well known, and making them a target for like NHL scouts to find and say, hey, this guy might be a good piece for our team. We can certainly use him. We can draft him and stuff. Like, it's something really special. Like, I be tuned in to these games every year. Eyes glued to the TV to watch the World Juniors every year. It is a special tournament that I always, and every hockey fan, looks forward to. Doesn't get any better than that. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button on YouTube. Make sure that you follow the Hockey Talk with TG podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. We are with you guys every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11:30 a.m. to noon Central Time, 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. Each time. So make sure to hit that follow button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell button, so you can stay up to date on the latest episodes of the Hockey Talk TG podcast and the latest hockey news that is going on around the league. Or like I said, it doesn't have to be NHL. It can be any other type of hockey news going on. And we report it on the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. Both of you guys have a great rest of your day. Hopefully you had a great Merry Christmas. It was nice for me to rock my Santa Claus hat on this episode of my Hockey Talk TG podcast. Both of you guys have a great rest of your day. Hopefully you had a great weekend. Hopefully you have a great weekend. Keep God first as always. Be blessed. I will see you guys on Monday for another episode of the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. Take care.